All right, let's talk about 80s pop. What's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably big hair, right? Neon, synths, and just these massive, unforgettable hits. But what if I told you that behind the biggest artists, yeah, I'm talking about Michael Jackson, there was this hidden force, kind of like a master architect who was designing the entire sound of the decade. So what was it? What was the secret ingredient that took a song from just catchy to, well, a global anthem? It's a great question, and the answer is probably not what you're thinking. No, it wasn't some new drum machine or a slick marketing campaign. It was something much deeper, something older and way more sophisticated. You ready for this? It was jazz. Yeah, jazz. The complex chords, those intricate rhythms. The very soul of jazz was secretly fueling the biggest hits on the pop charts. And there was one guy, one man, who built the bridge between these two worlds that seemed miles apart. And that man, of course, was the legend himself, Quincy Jones. So today, we're going to dive into how his incredible background in jazz gave him the tools to completely tear up the rulebook and revolutionize pop music. He created a blueprint that, honestly, people are still using today. And this quote just nails it. He didn't just, throw a sax solo on a pop track. It was way deeper than that. He took the actual language of jazz, the sophisticated harmony, the complex rhythms, and he wove it right into the DNA of pop music. So to really get how he did that, we gotta go back, way back. Look, if you wanna understand an architect, you have to look at their foundations, right? And Quincy Jones, his foundations were forged in the fire of the big band era. This genius didn't just pop up out of nowhere in the 80s. Oh no, it was built brick by brick over decades of really intense work. Just look at this timeline. It's just an incredible apprenticeship. I mean, he wasn't just in the room with guys like Lionel Hampton and Count Basie. He was actually shaping their sound. And then, just when you think you have him figured out, he makes this wild pivot. He goes to Paris to study classical composition with the one and only Nadia Boulanger. This is more than just a musical education, you guys. This is a complete, total immersion in music at the highest possible level. So, this is the toolkit he's building. He's learning orchestration, how to make instruments actually talk to each other. He's mastering harmony, how to layer sounds to really pull at your heartstrings. And rhythm, he's figuring out how to create grooves that aren't just danceable, they're hypnotic. So just imagine this for a second. When Quincy Jones walks into a pop studio in the 1980s, he's not just another producer. He is an architect, and he's got a musical vocabulary that almost nobody else in that room can even begin to understand. And that brings us to how he actually worked, his whole approach. See, he wasn't there to just hit record and capture a performance. No way. He was an architect. He was meticulously designing every single element of the song from the ground up. It's the same way he learned to do it in the world of big band jazz. To really truly get this, you have to understand what an arranger does in jazz. In that world, the arranger is king. The composer might write the melody, sure, but the arranger is the one who's the true visionary. They're deciding how all the pieces fit together, what instruments play what parts, when they come in. They design the whole sonic world. And Quincy Jones took that powerful, super detailed mindset and brought it straight into the pop studio. Okay, so what does that look like in practice? Let's call it the Quincy method. First, he builds the environment, the actual world the song lives in. Then in come those intricate horn layers, and they're not just for show, they're having a conversation with the vocals. But here's the real magic, the secret sauce. He'd hide these incredibly sophisticated jazz chords right underneath a super catchy melody. You wouldn't even notice the genius at work, you just feel it. And the engine driving the whole thing? A rhythm section with a kind of funk and a groove that only the best jazz musicians on the planet can bring. And there is no better example of this method in action than his legendary work with Michael Jackson. I mean, this is the collaboration that really built that bridge between jazz and pop, and, let's be honest, changed music forever. This chart really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? Standard 80s pop, a lot of simple chords, a pretty basic beat. But Quincy's pop, totally different animal. It was built on this sophisticated harmony that gave the songs real emotional weight. And the rhythm section wasn't just keeping time. The bass and drums were having a conversation, making the whole thing feel alive. So this wasn't just about making a better pop song. It was about elevating the entire art form, making something that was not only a massive hit, but was also musically deep. And the proof? I mean, it's all right there in the music. Go listen to Rock With You and pay attention to those lush, soaring strings and horns.
or feel that incredible rhythmic push in Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And Billie Jean, that iconic bass line is built on a chord progression that is way more complex than you'd think. The key to all this? He hired the absolute best of the best, these top-tier jazz fusion players like Greg Fillinganes on keys, who could bring his vision to life with total precision and, just as importantly, with soul.
And this image, well, it really says it all, doesn't it? This was his genius. He connected the cool, intimate, soulful vibe of a jazz club with the massive, explosive energy of a pop festival. He didn't just hop from one to the other, he built a permanent bridge. And in doing so, he basically created a whole new musical world. But look, his impact goes way beyond Michael Jackson. The blueprint he laid down, it left a legacy that would change the sound of pop music for decades, for sure. And the effect was immediate. His signature sounds, that perfect mix of lush arrangements, complex rhythms, and pop hooks, it became the new gold standard. All of a sudden, every producer in the game was chasing that Quincy Jones sound. They were all trying to copy his blueprint. And this might be his most important legacy of all. He flat out elevated the entire genre. He proved that you don't have to simplify your music. You don't have to dumb it down to have a massive hit. He showed everyone that millions of people were actually hungry for music with intelligence and complexity. You just had to wrap it in a groove that they couldn't resist. So when you boil it all down, that's his ultimate legacy. He didn't just borrow a few things from jazz. He literally wove its DNA into the very fabric of pop. It was a seismic shift, and he applied this same vision to albums for everyone, from Frank Sinatra to Aretha Franklin. It just goes to show you, for a true musical genius, those little genre labels, they don't mean a thing. Which really gets you thinking, right? Who are the musical architects out there today? And what kind of unexpected tools are they using to build the sound of tomorrow?